What's good, everybody? Welcome in to a pre-recorded episode of Gate Defensive Sports Network Power 2 Podcast. That's what it
Period.
is. That's what it is. That is who we are. My name is Jordan. As always, I'm your host. I'm here with my co-host DJ. How you living?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I've seen a lot of you in the last 2 days.
Lucky you. Blessed. Oh, to be so blessed.
You are lucky to be in mine presence, but okay.
Oh, to be so blessed.
Anyways,
We're here to discuss the power of preview season because as you listen to this podcast, it is the first, technically, podcast of our 2025 college football season preview.
it is here.
The week after this, we will have real conferences and teams to talk about. It's crazy.
I'm not well. And it's interesting because it's also a little bit oh, that means we're about to hit our 1 year, on the show too, because when we started the show, we started during doing previews. I believe we started a week from the week that this episode comes out, if I'm not mistaken. So, or something
Probably.
like that. Or it might be
No, it may have
exactly
been
on the.
this week because I don't
It might
think
have
our
been on
first
this week.
episode. I think our first
Yeah.
episode was a questions episode, and then we
Yeah.
went into the preview.
It was a mid-July moment. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, ew. We are about to complete a full cycle. This is so cute. I love this for us. Anyways,
Yeah.
so today we are going to be very, very general with our preview. We have 10 questions for the 2025 season. And when I say we, I mean I have 7 and Jordan has 7 and I have 3. So
See, not you lying. And also, you have 2.
I have 3.
I deleted one. Oh my god.
I have 3. Number 2 is mine, number 10 is mine, and number 8 is mine.
Am I here?
Yes, you are. You are
Because I
still with
think
us.
no, but it literally said I was offline again.
No, yeah, you were for a second, but you're back now.
Are you sure number 2 is yours?
Number 2 is definitely mine. Yes. I just wrote it an hour ago. It's mine. I just stuck it in at number 2 because number 3 was number 2. I stuck it in at number 2 because it's more relevant to number 1. And then number 8 is mine and number 10 is mine. I'm not gonna sit here and claim. Listen, you're the college football expert. So when you think about it, my questions are more general. You see how specific your questions are? My questions are not that specific. That's how you know they're mine.
Hey.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's start with question numero uno, shall we?
Oh, no. Also, I looked because I wanted to. Our first episode was July 21st, 2024.
Oh my God. So we're a week from when this episode comes out. Aw. Okay, so then we'll at least be able to react in real time how cute we are with our 1 year anniversary. I love that.
No, not doing that. Not
Yes,
at all.
we are.
10 questions. 10
We're going to be
questions.
sentimental on this podcast, damn it. I don't care. We're going to be
Questions.
sentimental.
21 questions. If I fell off tomorrow, would you still love me? If
No.
I ain't smell so good, would you still hug me?
No.
If I got locked up and sentenced to a quarter century, would you be there to support me mentally?
That's probably the last thing I would do.
If I went from a Benz to a hoopty, would you poof and disappear like some of I messed that line up. But
Okay, so we don't know
matter.
the lyrics to the song. Anyway.
No, I know. Don't play with me. I asked 21 questions right now, including the freaky ones, because this is our podcast. I don't know why he was being freaky in the middle of that, in the middle of 21 questions, but you know what I'm saying?
It's 50 Cent.
Don't tell me I don't know the lyrics. We'll do it right now. And I'll do Many Men right after that.
I'm sure
Anyways,
you can't. I'm just saying
questions.
It's 50 Cent. He also said he was in the back of the club fucking, didn't he? Isn't that what he said on birthday?
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That's what I'm saying. It's 50 Cent. That man is unhinged.
Not 21, not 50, not 50 Cent, not
10.
25 Cent. 10 questions for the 2025 season.
The first question being, because, in college football culture, I've noticed we just love talking about shit way entirely too early. So let's start with our early predictions for who will make the second iteration of the 12-team playoff. You go
I don't
first.
like that question, and it's my question. I want to delete it
Why do you want to delete it?
because
We're already here.
in 4 weeks we're gonna actually have an answer to this because we have to do our conference previews and we're gonna pick everyone.
Yeah, but this is like off the top. This not off the top because I definitely did some research, obviously, because I'm not a college football expert. But this is not. This is like just like what are the vibes? Like what do we feel before we get all into deep into the numbers and the information and the data? What are the vibes?
We doing vibes. We doing
We're going
vibes.
off of vibes. That's what I'm going off of
Ohio
today. I'm so sorry.
State.
I'm going off of vibes. Um, I can
Let's
name.
let's go back and forth. I name one. You name one. Ohio State.
Wait. So we're gonna when we go back and forth, we're gonna end up with the 12. So you name six, I name six.
Yes.
Okay, Ohio State. Well, duh. Penn State.
Texas.
I think Bama's gonna make it in this time.
Okay. Georgia.
Oregon.
Oof, that's a good one. All right. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Who else? Who else? That's so we have three from the Big Ten, three from the SEC, which means we also have to do other
Got to do
conferences.
some Big 12.
Yeah,
From the
man.
Big 12?
It's my turn. I'm gonna do. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna do Clemson.
That's
They're
ACC,
gonna make
but
it.
yeah. Okay. I think Clemson can do it. Okay, actually, Notre Dame.
Okay. So I guess I'll do the Big 12 again. I guess I'll do the Big 12 now. Do I believe in Arizona State again? Do I want to believe in Baylor?
If you don't say Arizona
Who do I
State, that's
want
what
to
I was going to
believe
say.
in? You said okay. Well, that goes to another one of our questions. That's interesting. All right. I'm going to go. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna let you have the Big 12 since you have one. I'm gonna go Memphis because we have to have a G5 team.
Memphis?
I think Memphis is the one I'm rooting for. I could be wrong about this, but it's
Okay.
vibes. It's vibes. I'm trying to remember who should be the good G5 teams coming in, and
Yeah.
I think Memphis should be this year because I think they were on the Cups last year. No. Hold on, Tulane. Sorry, Tulane.
Tulane. Okay.
Big
So,
Louisiana.
okay, so then I said Arizona State. So how
That's
many is
10.
that now? That's
That's 10.
10?
All right,
Okay.
so we have three Big Ten, three SEC, one ACC, Notre Dame, one Big 12, one. All right, so one of the Big Ten in the SEC is gonna get four. That's for sure.
You don't think
Uh,
ACC is going to get two again?
I don't know yet. That's gonna be on you because you don't have the last one. Oh, I got to ride with my team who I'm high on this year, Illinois.
The Illinois Illini, period. Okay, I'm going to
Why
go Illinois, whatever, child.
not?
Whatever. It's a stupid mascot anyways, and you can attack me if you want to. I don't care. It's stupid. Um.
Okay.
Okay. Damn. I'm gonna be a homer. I'm gonna say SMU. I'm gonna say we do it
All
twice in a
right.
row. I'm gonna be a homer.
Well, that you also answered. You also answered one of our questions later, seeing that you picked two of them to double back. All right, so
Yeah, but
that's our
that's a
12.
greater conversation.
Yeah, that's our 12. Don't hold us to it because in about five, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 weeks from here, from this episode, we're going to have official
An
playoff
actual.
predictions
Yeah.
after we do all of our previews. So
Yes.
you heard it here first that this doesn't matter, but unless we're right, and if we're right, we told you so.
We have crystal balls.
On God,
Period.
talk
Because
about it.
if you guys weren't paying attention, last week's episode, Jordan had a crystal ball talking about the WNBA. We'll look
Mm,
into that in a second. Because
mm, talk about it.
I'm just
Talk about
saying,
it.
we be knowing what's going on. Okay.
Talk about it. Okay.
And I would have been right about the NBA playoffs if it wasn't for Achilles getting snapped and stuff. So
If it
I was
wasn't, if it wasn't
almost
for you,
right.
if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Like literally. Okay. Number two. I thought about this question because I remember like the literal day after the national championship happened, I saw, I don't know, some sports entity posted on Instagram like, and this is who the matchup is going to be next year. And I was like, wow, like the trophy was just handed out yesterday. Like what is going on? So way too early national championship predictions.
Mm.
Out of the 12 teams that we just rattled off, who's going to be in it? And if you're feeling spicy, you can go ahead and say who's going to win. But
So this is way harder for me, especially if we think about the 12 teams we just entered, right?
yeah,
So I think Ohio State's going to go far, and I'm low key wanting to put them in the game, right?
yeah,
The problem with picking Texas, because my heart says Ohio State Texas rematch, I And I'm probably going to go with that because I think that two things can be true, and that Texas is overrated, and that 16 weeks in the season they could earn their way into how people are talking about them.
Yeah,
I have way more questions for Arch Manning than other people do, and I know it's stupid, but like here's the thing, and I won't say too much about it because it goes into our next question. Only one of these can be true. One of these can be true. Either Texas's coach chose loyalty over talent, meaning Arch Manning was much better than Quinn Ewers, and he chose to play Quinn Ewers out of loyalty, or Arch Manning was not better than Quinn Ewers last year. And to me,
fair.
neither one of them is great for Texas. Arch Manning could be better and be good, sure. But if you have a coach who's not willing to play his best player, including a player with the Manning name, en route to trying to win a national championship, that's a bad sign for you wanting to win a national championship. So Texas is hard for me because it's like, I believe two things can be true, but those can't be true. Either Arch Manning wasn't good, not wasn't good, he wasn't better than Quinn Ewers, or that coach played Quinn over loyalty despite the fact that his younger quarterback was better.
And I think that happens all the time though. Like playing
But
the
it
older guy
doesn't.
just off of like
But we've seen, especially so here's the other thing though. They had the perfect time to transition to Arch because Quinn kept getting injured.
yeah.
So like Quinn got injured, Arch started. I don't think he played amazing, and they could have just kept it there. Especially because they weren't going to bring Quinn back next year, meaning this year. So if you think this one is better, like if Arch is better, does Texas beat Ohio State? You know what I'm saying? Like that was a close game. That was the closest game Ohio State played, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Ohio State wins that game at the last second with a sack fumble. If you have a better quarterback, does Texas beat Ohio State? So it's one of those things where it's hard for me because again, either he was not better than Quinn or the coach didn't play his best player, and that makes it hard for me to like fully go into Texas. Alabama, definitely not choosing them.
No, they're getting bounced out of the first round. They're just gonna
Yeah,
make it.
Georgia, it's tough because I think Georgia's been down for 2 years, but I don't think they're going to be down for three. But
hmm
I know absolutely nothing about their quarterback. Penn State is hard for me. I want to say Penn State's going to do it, but I will save this for when we get to our Penn State preview. I do not think that their roster is as good as people think it is. Like I
hmm
understand the thought
The
process,
hype,
but I
yeah.
genuinely just don't like legitimately just looking at the roster to get through 16 games. I don't think the roster is as good as they say it is. I don't think Arizona State or SMU is going to do it. Um, so I'm gonna default. Ah man, do I want to do Ohio State Notre Dame again? I'm just gonna be boring. I'm gonna go Ohio State Texas. This was such a long way to give the answer that I was gonna give
Yes, it
anyway.
was.
But it's just like, I think this is a good way to introduce our previews because you just don't know about any of these teams legitimately
There's a
for
lot in the air.
multiple reasons,
Yeah,
which I won't say out loud until 2 or 3 minutes when I ask my next question because it just bleeds directly into that.
it does. A lot of the teams, a lot of the aforementioned teams do have the situation of the next question, but I'm gonna go Penn State. I'm a little high on Penn State, so I feel like they were close, but it was Notre Dame's year, sort of situation. So I'm gonna go Penn State. This sort of bleeds into another question that we have too. What concerns me about Ohio State is that well, also maybe I'm misremembering. Ohio State, this is the year where they actually do have a lot of returners, right?
No, last year.
I'm concerned about.
The problem is like a lot of people are concerned about Ohio State because they lost a lot of people, and that's valid. The thing is, like, and I'll save some of this for the Ohio State preview. There's one thing that Ohio State has that everyone's underrating. Then they also have the two best players in the country, and Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
So if the quarterback is just bare minimum Ohio State good, they're going to be a contender.
They're still
I
going to be
won't
good.
go into
Yeah.
details because we're going to get into
We're
it.
going to get there.
Just wait.
That's
Just
the biggest thing
wait.
for me with Ohio State. So I'm going to say Penn State, Texas
You got
if the brackets work out the way that they're supposed to, cuz that might not actually end up happening depending on seeding. But I'm gonna go Penn State, Texas,
Okay.
because I do think that Texas is gonna get to the championship. Get like out of the out of the teams that we mentioned just a second ago, versus like what I know about them, they to me seems the most likely at this point in time to go again.
Yeah. So this this is such a hard position for me because I just want to spill my secrets and not
Don't
wait.
do that.
But this is all I'm gonna say.
You got to keep it
I
guessing.
think the problems that people project on Ohio State, they're ignoring with Texas.
Mm-hmm.
One, partially because of the Manning name, and two, I
Mm-hmm.
just don't really think they paid attention to Texas's roster. And the one thing that I will say, I will give this secret: the offensive line. Like everyone talks about, Ohio State didn't have a great offensive line all year, and then
Yeah.
it turned great and it led them to a championship. Ohio
Yeah.
State has three returning starters. They have one of the best transfers at left tackle, so that is four established starters right there. They're only going to add one new player. So the
But I didn't
center,
say Ohio State, so
no. I know. The reason why I say Ohio State is because then in the reverse of Texas, Texas lost almost their entire starting offensive line. And so like, and that's all I'll say. I won't get too much into the things. Like I understand. So with Texas, you're one betting that their offensive line is going to be good enough, which we almost never give that. The only team that I know that we've really given like their offensive line is always going to be good was Michigan a couple years ago and like Alabama. I don't know if Texas is at the point where you can say their offensive line is always going to be good, especially because of the number of players they lost. Like it wasn't one or two guys; they lost their
it was the whole
entire
thing. I
offensive
think.
line. They
Yeah.
lost their entire running back room, and I think they lost their entire wide receiver room except for one. So I really think Ohio State and Texas are in the same exact bucket.
Yeah.
Which so I don't have a problem with you picking Texas. I just think that the national media is doing this thing where it's like Texas is guaranteed, Ohio State's not. And I'm like, they're like mirrors of each other. And
Yeah.
that they have the same exact problem. It's just different positions. And one has a Manning name, so you're assuming he's going to be better than the other just off the strength of the last name.
Well, yeah.
And
I mean,
that,
they even were talking about Arch Manning like an early favorite for the Heisman, and it's like everybody
no,
needs to take deep breaths of
I
fresh
will
air,
stake
like
my
air
claim
from the
later. But
outside, not air from the inside. Air from the outside. Maybe touch a little grass, touch concrete, really, if you would like. Pick up a rock. Go to a lake somewhere. It doesn't have to be natural; it can be man made. But we all need to just take a deep breath. Like it is okay.
please.
Yes, his last name is Manning. We understand what that comes with. Sucks for the kid, honestly, but
Hmm.
we need to keep it like for real. And the reason
Yeah.
why I picked Texas was actually more from a coaching standpoint. It has less to do with the personnel. Because I just think, why can't I think of that? That's Sarkeesian. Coach Sarkeesian
Yeah.
is the coach. So I think that given the right personnel, given good enough personnel, I think he can still make a championship team out of them. So, which unfortunately, as we know how you feel about what is that man's name? That coach, your
Man.
coach.
My coach,
Yes,
Ryan
what's the
Day.
man's name? Ryan Day. We don't trust Ryan Day as much as I don't as much as I trust Coach Sarkeesian. So
Hey, I can't say that. Even last year, I trusted Ryan Day more than Sarkeesian, and now Ryan Day has a national championship. But
yes,
but again, this is not one of them places where I'm judging you. Like, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
you
yeah.
have you'll know when I'm judging you. I think you have. There are reasons that would make sense. I
I
just
think
disagree for my
Ohio and
own
Texas are
reasons.
interchangeable, and that's really kind of what
Yeah,
it
like
comes
I
down
said, I
to.
think they're mirrors of
Yeah,
each other, just with different problems, and
yeah,
so it depends on. But and the only reason I even say that is I think that they should be talked about more evenly, and that's
yeah.
how I plan
But
to
they're
talk
not going
about
to.
them through. But because of the Manning and because of the thing, like I think Ohio State and Texas are, while flawed, the two best teams in the country, and then you get to Penn State and Georgia and
Notre
whoever
Dame,
else that will
Georgia, all of
save you
that.
for
Yeah,
later things.
yeah.
Next question:
Speaking
How
of
do
all
the
those teams that we just mentioned, literally
Yes,
all of the
all
teams
of
we just
them.
mentioned.
Legitimately, how do young quarterbacks on title contenders fare? I think this is the most interesting storyline, and I don't think it's being covered well enough. And we don't have the national platform to do it, nor do we have the time and the paycheck to do it. So I'm not even saying we're doing it well enough, but like all of the best teams, all of the quote unquote blue bloods, all of the teams that you
Mhm.
think based off of last year are going to do it again,
Have fresh,
they
wet,
all
wet
have
behind the ear quarterbacks.
none of them have quarterbacks that have played more than like 6 games, and that's
Yeah.
Dante Moore, and he was awful when he played those 6 games. Granted, he was a freshman, but he was legitimately awful. He was so bad that he got sat, transferred, and sat for a year. Like, this is his third season. He started as a freshman and then didn't play for a year and a half. That's how bad he was. Like,
I'm
that's not
screaming.
hyperbole. That is true. That is what
No, yeah,
happened. He
yeah.
played 5 or 6 games, was so bad they sat him. He transferred because nobody wanted him to start. He sat for a year, and now he's playing again. So he's the oldest quarterback of the bunch, I think. No, he's the same class as Arch Manning, I think. I think they're all in their third year.
He's
But
a
it doesn't matter.
sophomore. They're
Well,
all,
he redshirted, but this is
yeah.
his third year in
But his
college.
class technically, yes, he's a
Yeah.
sophomore. But yes, third year,
And
yes.
Arch Manning's also a redshirt sophomore. I have no idea what Gunnar Stockton is. I think
Gunner is a
CJ
redshirt
Carr.
sophomore as well.
Okay, so CJ Carr may be a red. No, he's a redshirt sophomore as well. I think the
No,
only one that's not.
he's a
He's a
freshman.
true.
CJ Carr's a freshman.
So he's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
This is not his first year on campus. He was on campus last year. And
Yeah,
Julian
yeah.
Sang is probably a redshirt freshman as well.
Freshman, yeah. So the three freshmen are let's run down the list. So we have Julian Sayin for Ohio State, we have CJ Carr for Notre Dame, we have Arch Manning for Texas, we have Gunnar Stockton for Georgia, and then we have Dante Moore for Oregon.
And when you look at these teams outside of Penn State who has an established quarterback, these are the teams that you think are going to win. And the other thing that's so interesting about this is, like, realistically, first of all, you never have it at the same time, which is the most interesting thing. Like, you do get this, right? CJ Stroud was a second-year quarterback when he started. Justin Fields, second year. Like, that stuff happens. It happens all the time. Bryce Young was a second-year quarterback. Like, that's sort of normal. The thing is, it's mildly abnormal because all of these teams for the last 2 or 3 years were playing older quarterbacks because of COVID years. So it's just like a sharp decline. Like, think about
like
it.
It's almost like a fresh slate now. Like, everybody is, quote unquote, from a quarterback standpoint, on the same level.
Like Oregon, for back-to-back years, they had older transfer quarterbacks. They had Bo Nix, and then they had Dylan Gabriel.
Oh, yes.
Ohio State last year had Will Howard. He was like a 6-year guy. Notre Dame had Riley Leonard. Georgia had Carson Beck, but he was older because he sat for multiple years.
Yeah.
So, like, he was already like a redshirt junior or something like that, or a senior. And then Arch Manning and CJ Carr. So, like, Texas had an older quarterback in that he was a 3-year starter.
Yeah.
But he was in line. Like, he didn't have COVID years and things like that. But every single one of these other ones had, like, legit older quarterbacks, and 3 of them had transfer quarterbacks. And, again, not the only ones in the country, but these are your contenders at any given year, but especially this year, and they all have first-year quarterbacks. They all have quarterbacks who haven't played more than 6 games. And so you're trying to play this game, and you genuinely don't know. And you basically have to do it like Ohio State. He's probably going to be good because he was a really high recruit, and Ryan Day's always good with quarterbacks. Arch Manning has a Manning name. Steve Sarkisian's pretty good with quarterbacks. Dante Moore, Will Stein, Oregon's offensive coordinator, has had really good offenses. So you say maybe Dante Moore, despite the fact that he looked bad, maybe he does it.
He'll thrive.
I don't think Notre Dame has any cachet with quarterbacks yet. So the CJ Carr one is hard, but I think with Notre Dame, you say they may arguably have the best running backs in the nation. They're gonna have a good offensive line, and they're gonna have a defense. So is CJ Carr just gonna be better than Riley Leonard or at the same level? And then with Georgia, I don't know what the hell you say because, like, Georgia's just weird. Like,
with
they
Gunnar,
won with a bad quarterback. Like, they won 2 national championships with a legitimately bad quarterback. So it's just like, if Georgia's Georgia, it doesn't matter.
So I'm looking at their stats, right? Just their pure, just 2024 stats: yards, touchdowns, interceptions, QBR. Gunnar had 440 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception last year. Arch had 939 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His QBR was 87.5. CJ Carr doesn't have any stats. Julian Sayin had 84 yards, 1 touchdown, and then Dante Moore had just straight 49 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. Now, he only played a few snaps. But based on stats alone, Arch is going to be the most comfortable out of this bunch, right?
Played the most.
Fully the most comfortable out of this bunch. So I'm less worried about him as much as I'm more so worried about, like, your Dante and your CJ. Like, because we truly just haven't gotten a good look at them to say, like, how this is all going to gonna go. But it's gonna be interesting. But I think also like for me, from a just a purely sports fan standpoint, that makes this like so much more interesting because then you
Yeah.
don't have the narratives of, oh well, this team has a more experienced quarterback than this team when they start to play one another. So I am excited about the competition aspect of it, where it's like it's truly gonna be like we are as evenly matched as we can be at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do want to get this to be clear, and I will probably say this again. I don't think Archer's going to be bad. I just
Yeah,
think Archer's going to be closer to Quinn Ewers than CJ Stroud.
yeah.
Closer to Quinn Ewers than Trevor Lawrence. Closer to Quinn Ewers than Jaden Daniels. Like, that's what I'm saying. I
He's
just don't
not
think he's going to be
generational
God's
potentially.
gift to earth.
Yeah, yeah.
And if
And if
he's
he
not
is,
God's gift to earth, then what does that mean for Texas, who has roster holes? Similarly, if Julian Sand doesn't need to be God's gift to earth because he has Jeremiah Smith, but if, like, and I mean, come on, like I
no,
could
yeah,
throw
you're
it to
right.
Jeremiah Smith, but
Yeah.
like,
I mean, we could close our eyes and just toss it up
if
and he's going
Julian
to catch it.
Sand is not an Ohio State level quarterback, what does that mean for Ohio State, who has holes on their roster? So it's just
Yeah.
very interesting because none of these teams have the superstar quarterback who is going to fill all the holes,
Carry the
which
team. Yeah.
this is not a question on here, but that then makes you look at like an Indiana who has arguably, like, no one believes this because they didn't watch Cal play, but I do genuinely believe in the fact that Fernando Mendoza is one of the better quarterbacks in the country, and he's older. Does Indiana like maybe sneak
Do they
back into
creep
this
up?
thing
Yeah.
because they argue like Fernando Mendoza is being talked about in the running for the number one pick, like the first quarterback off the board. So if he plays like that, if he plays like a Heisman finalist, and one or multiple of these quarterbacks hiccup at any point, it's just interesting because it's
It
like
opens it up
the
for
best
sure.
teams may have at the end of the season, the best teams may have the best quarterback, but there's a chance that one or multiple of these, the quarterback just doesn't work. Like, there's a chance that Gunnar Stockton's back. There's a chance that I don't think, to be honest, I don't think Julian Sand or Arch Manning's going to be bad. Like, I think we've seen enough of them. We know enough about the programs, the coaches. I think they're good. It's just how good. But what
Yeah.
happens if CJ Carr is really bad? What happens if Gunnar Stockton's awful? What happens if Dante Moore is bad? Like, it's an interesting question.
Yeah. What are we going to do? And to your point, the teams that have the more established quarterbacks are going to be at an advantage almost in a way um, because they have, what's the word I'm looking for? Experience on their
Yeah,
side.
and I don't think I put it on here, but I should have put Alabama on this list as well. Alabama has a first year
Oh,
quarterback.
yeah, they do because they lost Jalen Milroe, the running back.
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess I didn't think of Alabama as a title
Alabama's
contender,
not a title.
which is
No tea,
probably
no
my fault.
shade.
I probably still should have had them on here, but like
They're not a
Alabama's also going to have a new quarterback.
quarterback. Yeah. I'm also very interested to see how Carson Beck is going to fit into the
No,
Miami
he's not.
situation.
He's not.
I just am
I'm
interested
not interested
because
at all. I love that
I'm
you're interested
I'm
because
interested in the
50%
sense
of
that
the
like
show should
I
be
genuinely
interested.
thought he was going to stay in Georgia. Like I genuinely thought he was going to stay there. So I was surprised by the transfer. So I'm like, how is that going to go? Because again, we know how Mario Cristobal is. So I'm just kind of like, this is about to be real.
I love that in one season I've indoctrinated you into the Mario Cristobal, like,
Haters
he's a
Club.
loser.
He
He's a
is.
loser.
But
I
I've also
love it.
seen it
I
with my
love
own
it.
eyes. Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
because I used to always wonder what the hell was wrong with Miami. I just never knew what the reason was. So all you did was give me the reason because I was never
And
paying
the
close enough
fun thing
attention.
about it is people are like, oh, but he hasn't been at Miami that long. Yeah. Well, look at what happened to Oregon as soon as he left. They're good again.
And that's the thing. That's why I'm
'cause
like,
he's a great talent accumulator. I don't know what the hell he
great
be doing,
recruiter.
but
Yeah.
he don't do nothing.
Once he gets the talent,
Nothing.
he's like,
Nothing.
yeah. So that's the
Nothing.
thing is like I've always wondered what was going on in Miami because I mean, hello, one of the best to ever play in Miami played for the Dallas Cowboys, right? So I've always been like aware of Miami being like a good football program, and I was like, damn, what the hell going on down there? Like I don't know what's
Miami's fall off is crazy too. I will steal your thunder with a quick fun fact. I think Miami has the most Hall of Famers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
probably, yeah,
And if
that
they
makes
don't, they're going to break the record soon. Their '90s teams are insane. Like if we haven't done this yet, and at this point it's too late. But like maybe next year, as some all season content, we can like look back at some teams or different things like that. But like if we listed Miami's Hall of Famers, which we can't do because we don't have time on this
oh
show, it's
actually
insane.
wait, is this for the college Hall of Fame? No, you're talking about college Hall of Fame or Pro Football Hall
Pro
of Fame.
football.
Notre Dame actually has the most. Notre Dame
But
has
how many?
14. Southern California has 14, Michigan has 11, Ohio State has 10, Pittsburgh has 10, Miami has 9, Bama has 8, Syracuse has 8, Minnesota has 7, Illinois has 6.
Then I think they're gonna break it because they have okay. All right, whatever. I was wrong.
Because I
So
think it
to wrap
obviously
up,
matters. It's the school that you graduate from,
right? Yeah, yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Notre Dame. Period. Anyways, but yeah, it didn't take much to indoctrinate me into the club because then when I actually was watching and I saw it with my own eyes, I'm like, okay. And actually, our homecoming game this year, the SMU homecoming game, is when we
Don't
play
tell me.
Miami.
I
So
need
I
you to
get to
hit the
watch.
lottery so you can
I
buy
get to
my
watch
ticket
this
to come
nonsense
down.
in person.
No,
I'm
no,
thrilled.
I need you to hit the lottery so you can buy my ticket so we cannot watch the nonsense in person.
You just gotta
Stop
get a
playing with
plane
my
ticket.
emotions.
Get a plane ticket, and we good.
If I can't, I won't tell you on the podcast. But if I tell you the things that I'm paying for this year, you'll understand why get a
I
plane
know
ticket is just not possible
it's not.
this year.
Listen, if I'm just rolling in it, we'll talk. Maybe you can take a train down here or something. We'll talk.
Hey, I they got internet. I do it. We can figure that out. We'll
We'll
talk
figure
about it.
because
We'll
listen,
talk
I
about
can
it.
get you the ticket. I can get you in the door. I promise you, I can.
Hey. And look,
Well,
I'll pay you back. I'll buy you some food. Maybe I'll cook. You know what I'm saying?
I'll buy
I
you
throw
some
something on
food
the
for a plane
grill.
ticket. Is
I throw something on the grill. I mean,
see,
like it's
and
like
I need to throw some on the grill friend that actually lives down here because I can't throw nothing on nobody's grill. I need to throw some on the grill person in my life. Anyways, but yes, so realistically, the title contenders that we literally just talked about, all of this could be hinging upon them having a wet behind the ears quarterback. So this will be real fun to
yes.
watch.
And this is not one of our questions, but it is like a theme of like to wrap this one up and go to the next one. It sort of blends. That means you have Indiana as like a dark horse, but that means you have Clemson and you have Penn State as two title contenders as our next two questions who do have established quarterbacks, both of who have quarterbacks that are going into their third year, both of who have quarterbacks who were 5 stars and didn't entirely live up to the hype, but depending on who you asked, showed some growth at
Show
the
promise,
end of
yeah,
last year
yeah.
that makes you think their third season could do it. Now, I will say Quinn Ewers also had a third year, and we saw what happened. So you can't guarantee that their third year is going to be good, but there's hope there. So we can combine these questions because they're essentially the same, mildly different. Let's not combine them because one's specifically a James Franklin conversation. 4, can James Franklin get over the hump and reach the national championship game? And my thing is, I
I
don't
mean, I
want people to
predicted
do what
that.
I'm
So
doing. I don't want people to do what I'm doing. I don't want the revisionist history of Penn State's roster is not that good. That is currently happening with the Chicago Bears, side note, and Caleb Williams. And it's like, hey, maybe Caleb Williams just wasn't as good as you thought. Because I heard and saw with my little eye and ears that they said Caleb Williams was going into the best situation a rookie quarterback has ever had. I heard him say it. I saw him say it. I also heard and saw them say that Bryce Young was going into one of the best situations that they've ever had. And I do understand that things change, but it's crazy how fast they change when the quarterback just doesn't play good. So, I don't want to hear Penn State wasn't I've been saying that they don't have a wide receiver. I've been saying that they lost their best defensive player. I've been saying that I don't think their quarterback's that good. I don't want to hear that in December when they don't make it, when all of y'all have been saying they have the roster and they're reloading and they have the best team in the country. Keep that energy and just admit if it happens that you were wrong either about believing in James Franklin or about believing in that quarterback, Drew Aller, or both. So you believe he will get over the hump. Why? This isn't like the why was
based
more
on my
aggressive
very
than I
limited
wanted to just
knowledge of
like
college football.
you but that's the thing, like the historical knowledge matters a little bit, but like just answer the question off of what you saw last year because that's what matters. He's bringing back a lot of the roster from
He's bringing
last
back a
year and
lot.
he
That's what I'm
made it.
saying. I'm
Yeah.
like, I believe that he's going to be able to find success in the pocket of transitions for the other teams that would be considered his larger competition. It's very much related to the conversation we were just having. So I think that that's what's going to propel them forward. And the next team that we're about to talk about is that they're going to find success in this small gap of all of the best teams transitioning, all of the best teams quote unquote recovering from, losing their longer tenured quarterbacks, losing some of their longer tenured other position players and things like that. Realistically, I can't sit here and say with my whole chest that he's going to win a natty, but I
Oh,
do
and that's why the
think,
question's not win; it's just
yeah, but I
reach.
do think that Penn State absolutely has a runway ahead of them to make it to the natty.
And I love that you said that because I just need. I feel like we do this all the time. I need teams to keep that same energy,
Yeah,
whether they do or don't make it. If they do make it, pound your chest and say you said it was going to happen. I love that. But
yeah,
if they don't give me the revisionist history. You looked at the roster and you said they had one of the best teams in the country, and you said that they were going to get over the hump and do it. I think that James Franklin is still one of the best coaches in the country. I do.
yeah,
But my honestly, my thing is, but I think he has some flaws in his roster building, and I think some of that is as good as a recruiter as he is. I just think some of it's hard to get to Penn State. But also, I think he's too loyal. His wide receiver coach should have been fired 4 years ago, personally. I don't know why he's still there. So it's like, I don't believe in the quarterback. I just don't. I don't believe in the quarterback at all. Like,
yeah,
I don't care what anyone says. I watched it. He personally lost in the Notre Dame game. And with the
yeah,
quarterback specifically, he doesn't have his best weapon. So, like, let's say, for example, let's hypothesize, let's say they do have better wide receivers. That wide receiver or even duo of wide receivers is not going to be better than Tyler Warren.
yeah,
So it's like, how can you say the offense got better when they lost a first round pick tight end who was so good he could give you 200 yards and multiple touchdowns by himself in one game? And it's not only just that, it's just anytime they needed to get out of a situation, they went to him. Whether they direct snapped him the
yeah.
ball, whether
Now they
he
don't
was the
have
running
that.
back,
Yeah,
or whether he was the wide receiver or the tight end,
yeah.
it was always him. So it's like, yeah, you brought back other things, but you didn't bring back the two most important people. You didn't bring back Abdul Carter.
And you didn't bring. I mean, I don't know, and that's the thing. Is like I still think the runway is ahead of them based on the circumstances, not so much based on the roster. I also am like, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, what has their runway been, right? Like when he first got there, they're 2-6, 4-4, 8-1, 72. Like they've progressively gotten better. So if we're going off of like just straight data, they finally went to the college football playoff first round. They went to Fiesta Bowl. They went to Orange Bowl. Like from the data, it's giving like this has got to be the year, right? It's got to be this year or next year, right? Like
One would hope.
otherwise, child,
Because, right, but that's the thing. If it's not this year or next year, it's just never going to
it's
happen.
not gonna happen. I agree. If it's
But
not
that's
this year or next
fine for
year,
him
I hate that for
because
y'all.
he's going to be USC's next head coach when they get rid of Lincoln Riley. And then
Okay.
he'll probably do it there. He'll probably do it there. Because I really like all the criticism I give to James Franklin, and I do think he deserves a lot of it. I do think we underrate that some of his problem is just that he's in bumfuck Pennsylvania.
It's hard to listen. Now that I have been to State College, College State, Penn, whatever the hell I went,
Yeah, you
wherever the
thought
hell
I
I
was
went.
lying too. You thought I was being dramatic.
No, I believed
I
you.
can be a little
I
dramatic.
believed you.
State colleges, I
I
wasn't
believed you.
playing.
I believed you. There was nothing about what you. I took heed to everything that you said about State College. I beautiful people. I will say the people were so nice. Oh my god, so nice, so nice,
And
so
if you
nice. I
like
said that.
trees, it's a beautiful
If you
campus.
like mountains, trees, and snow, please go to State
It was
College. You'll love it.
cold, but
If
if
you
you ever
love
go in the
your
summer, they
plane
have
not
some of the
taking off
best.
because the plane literally was too cold, please go to State College. You'll enjoy
Yeah.
it.
And if you can ever get there when it's warm,
What
they have some of the best ice cream you've ever had.
I'm sure,
But
and I haven't.
like,
I did not get a chance to try the
yeah,
ice
because it
cream,
was
which makes me
freezing.
sad.
Like, why would you? But
But
yeah.
if you want your fingertips to fall off, please go to State College. You'll have a grand old time.
Football.
I will say that environment is unlike any environment I've ever been in my life.
And
So as an athlete,
fans
like
are amazing. Yeah.
yeah, like as an athlete, I would want to go just strictly for that environment. But I also know like everything else has to make sense. And being up in the mountains like that is not that's not easy. There's a reason why UConn has to be who they are in order to recruit people. You got to be the best team in the country because who the fuck is going to stores? Like,
Same with Gonzaga. I don't even know where Gonzaga is.
where even is Gonzaga? Like,
Hey,
where is it? Like, I
when
don't
you
know.
find out, let me know.
I
Because I don't
don't
care enough to
know. I
Google
think
it
it's
right
it's
now.
on the East Coast, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it? Child,
It's in
I
like
don't know. Spokane,
Montana,
Washington,
Utah,
child. Spokane.
Washington. Yeah. Spokane's not that bad.
It's not
Spokane's not
terrible, but
awful.
it's not.
Washington's not awful.
It's yeah. But the point I'm getting at is, State college is a hard place to recruit to. But yeah, I think it has to happen this year or next year, or child, we're gonna have to have a very serious
But my
conversation.
thing is, it has to happen this year
Yeah,
because next year he's going to lose a lot more
a lot
people.
more people. Yeah, yeah,
And when you do, that's the thing. Like for Ohio State, it had to happen last year. That whatever, like legitimately, whatever Ohio State does this year is house money because their roster is so small, so young, and outside of Caleb Downs, almost all of their best players are going to be back next year.
yeah.
So Ohio State can have a quote unquote down year,
Couple
which
years.
for
Yeah,
Ohio State standard is getting winning one or two games in the playoffs instead of three or four.
yeah,
But you can do that because you won when you needed to win,
yeah.
right? Michigan fans forgave Michigan last year because they won the year before when they needed to win. Penn
Well,
State's going to lose so many. That's why I said specifically Penn State fans. Penn State needs to win this year because they're going to lose so many people.
yeah,
Next question.
I agree.
Is Clemson a legit national championship contender? If
I'm
you
going to give
listen
a
to the
really
national
biased
media,
answer.
if you listen to the people, Clemson is going to win the national championship. I bet you when it comes out, a lot of people are going to pick Clemson, Texas as the national championship game. And I think that uh, Clemson, to me, I think has maybe a better chance than Penn State off the strength that, like, I think that their defense may be a little bit better, but I also don't think they have an amazing wide receiver, and I also don't believe in their quarterback. And I definitely don't believe in Dabo anymore. But Dabo has two national championships. So I don't know. I think my answer to this is sort of, and that I could see them getting to the final four, but I don't see them winning. I don't see them getting to the national championship game. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they make it further than they did last year, potentially. But I don't like when we're talking about legit national championship contenders. I think there's only a couple, and I don't think they're there. So it's sort of. I think they're a Final Four team, and that's the best that I can give them. But I could still see them stumbling because I don't think they're as good as people assume that they're going to be.
Hmm.
But to your Penn State point, there is a minor runway because they do have that quarterback. And
Yeah,
so even if that quarterback's not that good, how much does the 3 year starter seniority thing factor
matter.
in? But I also worry that their run game and wide receiver room is going to be bad. So I don't know. I'm going to say final. I'm not going to go as far as say national championship contender, but I will say I could see them going as far as the final four, but losing to whoever they play, and maybe not close.
I'm gonna kind of get in your revisionist history bag because, like, they were not a part of any postseason conversations until they randomly, by stats and other things, made it to the damn ACC championship.
And now they're a
They
championship
beat
contender
us
next
by
year.
one field goal. They did not whoop our ass. They did not drag us. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a whatever. They beat us by one field goal. Yeah, I'm still mad. And I was watching basketball the other day, and they were playing the replay of our game on ESPN3. We don't need to watch that again. Why is that replay? Why are we replaying that game specifically? Y'all can't replay nothing else. All the games y'all got to choose from, and y'all want to replay that one. Replay ASU and Texas. That was good. That was good watching. Don't replay our shit. We don't need to do that. So, to me, in my opinion, because they randomly snuck their way into the playoffs last year, now everybody is high on Clemson. No, I don't want to hear it. F you and the horse that you rode in on. No, because I guarantee you this: if we end up in the ACC championship with Clemson again, that ass is whooped.
I guarantee it, she said, and I love it.
That ass is whooped because they barely beat us the first time. So, yeah, okay, you snuck your way in, you got your little playoff spot because it's a 12-team playoff, and now they are allowing two ACC teams in. But don't piss me off. Like, that doesn't mean that Clemson all of a sudden is just so amazing and oh my God, they finna go to the national. Oh, what are we talking about? That's crazy to me. No.
I
And
agree.
will
I
they make it
also,
to the playoffs? Probably. But it'll be because they lost the ACC championship.
hey, I also think that like, so here's the thing with Clemson, and like I understand that I don't get to watch every game. I don't get to rewatch every game. I don't get to do these things, right? In the draft conversation, there's been a lot of conversation right now about how good Clemson's defensive line is going to be next year. And I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but and I admit that there's a chance that I missed it, but I do wonder where the hype is coming from because I didn't watch Clemson last year and think that they were dominating everyone on
I
the
didn't
defensive
either.
line.
That's why I don't understand. That's why I'm like, no,
And so
y'all
it's
just
like,
wanted, y'all got high on that little playoff run and you're not paying attention.
yeah. Question 6. Does Ohio State take a step back or can they make another playoff run? And so I think to better answer this question, to make it more dynamic, does Ohio State make it to the Final Four?
Yes.
Okay, so then I would argue that means they don't take a step back. Because everything's a step back from the national championship unless you repeat.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah.
if the question
But
is, does
step
Ohio
back to
State,
me means like you barely make it through the first round. Like that's what
right?
step back to me means.
And I agree. I do not think they take a step back. I do think they make a run. I do think they at least get to the Final Four again.
Yeah.
And then it just depends on who they play and how they play and
And how
if you
Ryan
can
Day
put
coaches.
6 people on Jeremiah Smith. Because if you can't,
Exactly.
if you
Exactly.
can't, I'm
Exactly.
telling you right now, if Ohio State makes it to the Final Four, I'm probably going to pick them to win a national championship.
I don't think I would
Because
pick them to win the national championship again because
if Jeremiah, I'm telling you
repeating
right
is
now,
difficult.
no, but that's
But
why I say if they get to the Final Four, I'm going to pick it because I just don't see anyone stopping Jeremiah Smith for 2 games.
that's
So
fair.
they better hope you beat Ohio State before they get there. Because if they get hot, that's my thing. Like if they get
Yeah.
hot, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying that at that point is when I will pick it because I don't see, no matter who it is, I don't see a single team stopping Jeremiah Smith for 2 games.
I feel it. I don't think that. I think Ohio State is building momentum, not losing it. So I don't
Yes.
see it like them taking a step back. But I also will say I don't think if we like your season would be a failure if you didn't make
No.
it to the Final Four. I think it's
Unless
a
we don't beat
failure.
Michigan.
It's a failure if you don't beat Michigan. It's a failure if you don't win the Big Ten. It's a failure if you only make it like you don't make it through the first round. Then we'll call it a failure.
Yes.
Because to me, if you won the championship last year, there is an expectation for you to at least make it to the Final Four. Like
Yeah.
you won the Natty last year, so yeah.
And obviously people leave, but the only people who are guaranteed that are like major contributors to leave next year or after this season is Caleb Downs,
Mm.
Carnell Tate, the wide receiver, Caleb Downs is the safety, and Sonny Styles, the linebacker. Of course, there are going to be other people to leave, but I think the overwhelming majority of our offensive line is going to stay because this is only going to be their second year starting. So I
Mm-hmm.
think we go back into next year with at least 3 returning starters.
Mm-hmm.
All of our wide receivers, including Jeremiah Smith, will be back except for Carnell Tate. The quarterback will
Momentum.
be back. The running back will be back. The defensive
Momentum.
line will be back because they're young. All the linebackers except, and then we're also going to lose
Momentum.
one of the. We're also going to lose. I lied. We're also going to lose one of the corners, maybe 2 of the corners. So like that's a conversation.
But you're
for
Ohio State, and it's not like you're not
right.
about to attract top talent if you just won a Natty and then maybe you go to the Final Four again or win a
Correct.
Natty again. Like, please.
Question 7. Specifically, these teams can SMU, Arizona State, and or Boise State reach the playoffs in back-to-back years? I do not think all 3 of them do, of course.
I agree.
But can any of them? You've already picked 2 of them, hypothetically. Are you standing by that
yes.
40 minutes later, or are you changing
Boise
your mind?
State is the only one I don't believe in because they don't have
Ashton
what's
Genty.
that boy's name? Why I just lose
Ashton
his name?
Genty.
Ashton Genty. They don't have Ashton Genty anymore. So sorry to Boise State. Love that for y'all. But yeah, I think SMU is capable. The thing about SMU is that we are returning our quarterback. We pretty much had one of the better O lines last year anyway. And then we've gotten a few we gotten some talent in the receiver room, wide receiver room, and things like that. I'm not an SMU expert, but I know we're doing well in that regard. The only thing about Arizona State, I guess the X factor for Arizona State was Cam Scattaboo. How do you say his last name? Cam Scattaboo.
Scatterbo.
He was
Cam
the X
Scatterbo.
factor, and now he's gone. Did I just make that up?
No. He's on the New York Giants talking in a
Okay.
black accent, saying he grew up around ghetto-ness.
Yes, I did see that. Very pathetic and sad. So, like, if I were to rank, I would say the highest chance is SMU, then Arizona State, and then Boise State, I think, is not even in the conversation anymore.
So yeah, I'm gonna give another little secret, and it depends. Like again, I have the right to change all of my mind once I do a deep dive into the preview, which I'm
Right.
going to do for the 2 weeks that I'm in Columbus.
I love
Not
that for
wherever
you.
I'm gonna. No, I'm not gonna be in Columbus for 2 weeks, but like and various places in Ohio.
Oh, what
But
even is in Ohio?
I do think the ACC gets two, and I think it's going to be SMU or Pitt. Don't think it's going to be Miami.
Yeah,
I reserve the right to change my mind about Pitt, but the reason I'm including Pitt, I need to see the rest of their roster. But I think their quarterback's going to be really good.
yeah.
So like, cause I'm super high on him after last year.
No, I'm super.
I know he tailed off at the end a little
Yeah, yeah.
bit,
Pitt was
but
kicking ass
this was
initially.
his first year playing. That boy,
Yeah, Pitt was kicking ass. I was actually
Eli
concerned
Holstein.
when they came to SMU. I was scared. I'm surprised we won the game the way that we did.
Yeah. So like again, it depends on what else is on their team. I don't know, so I can't say this for sure. But
Yeah,
I could see. I think SMU. At bare minimum, SMU or Pitt, in my opinion, is probably going to be in the ACC championship game, and there's a good chance then that the
whoever
runner
they
up
both get a
gets in,
bid. Yeah,
which is what happened last year. So
yeah.
okay, 8.
This is my question: who will Colorado be without their golden gooses, Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter?
Nobody.
Not a fucking person. No, I'm just. That's what I was about to say too. I'm like, man, I really don't know because that was kind of their bread and butter for this last year. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, this is going to be the year for Colorado where we really actually get to see Dion's coaching chops in a different sort of way because it's not his kid and it's not a generational Heisman winning talent. So
Yes,
that's
I
going to
don't
be
remember his
very.
name, but they did get an interesting quarterback in the transfer portal
Mhm.
as like a 1 year stopgap sort of thing. I do not remember his name, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like Shador was good, but he wasn't the main person, right? Like,
Mhm. Caden
so
Salter.
without Travis, who is it?
Caden Salter.
Yes, he's a dog. But without, even if you replace Shador, you can't replace Travis. They also lost Jimmy Horn Jr. Like, there are some people that they lost. So I don't know,
Who
man.
will they be? I don't know. Cuz
Ah,
cuz my thing is I don't think that means that they're going to automatically be trash, but to me there is a spotlight on them in a different way because they lost both of them at the same time.
yeah.
So it's just kind of like what's going on in Colorado? I don't know. It's very interesting. And as you guys know, I'm a little high on Colorado. I live for me. I live for Coach Prime. I live for the
You're a
whole
little,
vibe. I'm sorry. I love me some Colorado. You can stick it in my glass right now. I'm gonna drink it up. So
you're a little
I
high.
personally will have my eye on Colorado.
You're a little high on Colorado.
I am. I am. I'm
Denver,
smoking that
get it,
Colorado pack. I am.
get it. The weed, but also the mountains. You're a little high.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Isn't
kidding.
it legal there? I'm pretty sure it's legal there.
Yeah, that's right. That was
Oh
the
yeah.
point of the
So
joke.
yeah, I'm
But
getting
yeah, hey,
smoking on hay in the middle of the barn in Colorado. Okay.
listen. Number 9. Will can slash will anyone surprise and make a playoff run? Going into last year, we didn't have Arizona State. We sure as hell didn't have Indiana. We didn't have SMU, and we didn't. I don't think many people had Boise. Like last year was
No,
really
nobody
sort of
had Boise.
wild.
We need to be
So
real.
like
Nobody had Boise.
my take for this is going to be Illinois. But
Okay,
like
see, I was gonna say that too.
with 12 teams, you're probably gonna get at least get one or two surprises. So like I don't know. It's hard to answer. Like I said, if I had to guess, if I had to make a plan, I would say Illinois. But like maybe so I don't especially because I don't think you can count South Carolina as a surprise because going
Yeah,
into our
they've
next
been knocking.
question, their
Yeah.
quarterback is one of the Heisman favorites, so I just don't think they count. But like, could like I know some people were like high on Baylor, and could Baylor
What?
do it? Um, could Washington's surprise out of the Big Ten? Could I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question. I think Pitt would be a surprise, like if Pitt did it. So I'm gonna say yes, but I won't bet on who. But I don't think we get four though. Like last year, we had four surprises.
I think last
I
year
don't think we get.
was surprising for multiple reasons with the fact that it was extended to 12 for the first time. So it's just kind of like, you know,
Mhm.
and also just the quality of play from these particular teams was also surprising, if that makes sense. Because brand wise, at least I can speak for SMU. I don't really know Arizona State's history or Boise or what is that the team you just said? Um, Indiana. Well, Indiana. Like I think there was that particular surprise of this of just them being good in general. That also was like, oh shit, y'all are so good. Y'all made it to the playoffs. Like, hold on. Like, I think there was a lot of that going on. I think the team that I'm gonna say, and this is like, bear with me. I'm in like two minds. I want to say, I'll just say both. LSU and Iowa. LSU because they was playing up in that transfer portal. I mean, they really are serious. You can tell that they're serious. So I feel like LSU is going to look very, very different this year than what they looked like last year. And then as far as Iowa, I feel like Iowa has been kind of knocking on the door as well. I mean, they won 11 games last year. Like, that was the first time they ever did that. So I feel like they might be kind of, I don't know. I feel like they might be building some momentum. They also have a third-year quarterback as well. So again, they might be able to do the same thing, like have that little bit of a window because of all the other teams transitioning. So I'm going to say Iowa and LSU.
I like the Iowa pick. People don't understand. You just don't understand. Iowa, he's from the FCS, but that quarterback is a baller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so last question, final question. Who are the Heisman Trophy early favorites?
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm asking
I
you mostly because I don't know players as well as you know players. So this is really more of like a hey, let's have an educational moment to our listeners, to all 300 of y'all. We love y'all. Who should we be looking at as the potential Heisman favorites? I mean, the obvious one is obviously Jeremiah Smith, of course,
yes.
but and of course we already know that Arch Manning is going to be in the conversation whether we want him in it or not. But who else?
So for me, I would say it's Jeremiah Smith, it's Lenora Sellers from South Carolina, quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think South Carolina is going to win enough games for him to win it, but I think he's going to be dynamic in that he could have like 4,000 total yards because he's
Mm-hmm.
also a good runner. And
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things where like, it doesn't happen often, but if he has a Lamar Jackson type season and they at least win 8 or 9 games, he might do it.
He'll get a little nod. Yeah. He'll
So
get a little
outside
nod.
of those two, I think I'm going to cheat and I'm going to say Ryan Williams because if Alabama's going to be good, it's going to be based on him. Because I
Because of
just
him.
like
Yeah.
I understand there's going to be a quarterback that gets there, and there's a chance that a quarterback could win it with like reduced stats, right? Like
Yeah.
if every quarterback throws for 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns, that may be enough. But when we're looking at like previous Heisman seasons, I don't think any of them have that 35,
The ability.
37,
Yeah.
35 touchdowns, like that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
The
So
last
if the
quarterback to win at
numbers,
this point is Jaden, right?
yes.
Okay. Well,
Or
yeah.
did Caleb win it after Jaden? Jaden, yeah.
Jaden got drafted. He was a rookie this past year.
But so was Caleb
And Jaden won it the
last
year,
year, and
his
then
senior year.
Caleb won it 2 years ago. So yeah,
Yeah.
Jaden,
Yeah.
yeah, and then last year was a running back, yeah. But
And
like,
then last year was,
let's,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that there's going to be a couple of people who are going to be, like I said, like forced in the conversation. Like literally a couple of the people that we obviously mentioned as like the young QBs, but because of the brands they're associated with, they'll be in the conversation. Like your Julian Sayans and people like that. I think DJ Lagway is probably going to be a part of that conversation, for sure. And then even Nico I probably as well, because they are
I don't
storm
believe in Nico, but
quarterbacks.
yeah,
But I think if we're talking about like actual like ability to win the Heisman for real, I think it's Jeremiah Smith's trophy to win.
I agree because like so like here's the thing, right? Jaden Daniels, when he won the Heisman, threw for 3,800 yards, 40 touchdowns, four interceptions,
Four.
1,100
I
yards, and
love this kid.
10 touchdowns,
I'm
10
obsessed
rushing
with him.
touchdowns, right? Let's
Yeah.
look at one more. I'm actually going to look at two more. Okay? So, Caleb Williams, when he won the Heisman in 2022, he threw for 4,500 yards,
Jeez.
42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He ran for only 382 yards, but he had 10 rushing touchdowns. When
Yeah.
Bryce Young won the
Jesus.
Heisman the year before that, he threw for 4,800 yards, 47 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So my thing is,
You got to
a
cross the
quarterback
4K
could win
mark.
it with lesser stats if
Mm-hmm.
all of them have lesser stats. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that any of these quarterbacks are throwing for 4,000
4,000
yards.
yards?
So it's
No.
hard to pick who the Heisman finalists are. So for me, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams as two of the best wide receivers in the country, maybe the two best wide receivers in the country.
Yeah.
And then I will give it to Lenore Sellers because I think he could get to 4,000 total yards between his passing and throwing. So, like, if
Yeah.
he can get to 4,000 total yards and 40 touchdowns, let's say 28 passing, 12 rushing, let's call it 3,100 yards passing, 900 yards rushing, or he probably needs a little bit more than that. But let's call it 4,200 total yards and 40 total touchdowns between passing and rushing. I think he could do it. Outside of that, I just don't know if any of the quarterbacks are going to be good enough to really reach the numbers.
Yeah.
Which, when that happens, that allows for a wide receiver to
A
win.
wide receiver.
So
Yeah.
I think for the
I don't
first
think this
time
is
in
a
a
quarterback
long,
year either.
yeah, I think for the first time in a long time, we'll have back-to-back years
Back to
where a
back.
quarterback didn't win it.
Yeah. Good times. What's funny is I was reading up on this, and Kevin Jennings from SMU has been listed on some of the way too early Heisman lists, which I think is really, really interesting because he did throw for 3,000 yards last year, a little over 3,000. He ran for 380, but he did not play every game. He didn't start, he didn't become a starter until the third game. So you could argue that there's space for him to produce even more. And that would be really, really interesting. I'm not sitting here, don't get it twisted as me being a homer. I'm literally talking about the literature that has been written on ESPN.com as him being like a potential quarterback to look at for the Heisman. And this is going to be his first season starting the entire time. So that'll be very, very interesting. I'm not getting on that train, but
It's worth mentioning that somebody's getting on that train.
I'm not getting on the train, but he has been a part of the conversation, which I find very, very interesting because I'm gonna have to look it up the last time that anybody from SMU was in a Heisman conversation because it's been a minute.
Yep. All right.
But
Those
yeah,
are our 10 questions for the 2025 season. This is our first of many preview podcasts. For those of you who are wondering how the previews are going to go, our schedule looks like this. We are going to preview the Power Four and the Power Four only because we don't get paid to do this. Unfortunately, we are not going to give you a bad G5 preview that we don't have the information on. So the Power Four and the Power Four only on the Power 2 podcast. And then we are going to give you our 2025 playoff predictions based off of our previews. These are the ones we're going to stick to. And we're going to go a little bit more in depth into that. And by the time we're done with that, we'll be at the
it'll
season,
be
baby. We'll be here. We'll be here. So, as always, we're going to end the show with our 2-minute report. Our 2-minute report presented by no one yet, but it's going to be a sponsor in there eventually. There's going to be, look, I'm just speaking into existence. There's going to be a sponsor in there eventually. Mine,
I was like, who's getting it?
listen, mine is, both of ours are going to be 2 weeks late, but it doesn't matter. Because we're recording this early and I want to talk about it. The WNBA.
Yes, we are reacting to this in real time, though.
Yes, is adding 3 teams. I will not spiral and talk about all the things that this matters. Me and DJ had like a 45-minute conversation in the middle of the workday about
hour,
this.
yeah.
So I'm just going to talk about what happened. And the WNBA is adding Cleveland. Let's go. They're adding Detroit. And they're adding Philly. Cleveland and Detroit are bringing back franchises. This does not mean, it does not guarantee that they're going to use the same branding. Although if Cleveland does not, I will riot.
If Detroit does not, I will also riot.
So we just rioted.
If it's not
so
the
it
Detroit
be,
shock, they gonna be shocked when they see how I act.
Look, you know what I'm saying? And so it should be the Detroit Shock and the Cleveland Rockers. Yes. And then Philly is a brand new team. This was also
76 hers.
Hey,
sorry, go ahead.
This is also history because the WNBA has never had more than 16 teams. So this is the first time that they'll ever have more than 16 teams. I am still holding out hope because this is not happening for some time. Cleveland will be in 2028, Detroit will be in 2029, and Philly will be in 2030. I'm hoping that in that 5 year span, still, they add two more teams to get to 20 by 2030. That has always been my hope if you've listened. And I hope that that is Houston and Nashville, but we'll get to that later. Right now, we're celebrating that the three that they have. It is two returning cities, and then Philly. And the last thing I'll say about this, because this is our 2 minute report, is that in the span of
5 years.
years,
Mm-hmm.
technically seven from when it was first announced in 2023, but realistically, in the span of 5 years, from 2025 to 2030, the WNBA is going to go from 12 teams to
18.
18 and maybe
Wow.
20, because it is still time to add a couple more. But this is huge. As you know, we love women's sports here. We love the WNBA. There's a lot more further detail that we won't go into, like around this, but it's just good to see that the league is growing. It's good to see that I can't speak for everyone. So outside of Houston, because I do know this is true for Houston, but Cleveland and Detroit have been begging for women's sports. They've been begging for these franchises back. And Cleveland specifically has been passed over multiple times for the WNBA. They were just most recently passed over for soccer. And so I think it's great that these two cities are going to get franchises. And Philly, I just think Philly's going to be cool. Like, it's going to
Philly's
have
gonna be so
Don
cool.
Staley. It's going to have AI, probably, well, maybe not AI, but like,
It'll
it's
be a
going
good
to
time.
have,
Will Smith gonna be courtside. It's gonna be great.
listen, it's going to have the Kelseys.
Oh yeah,
Gotta have Mike Vick, you know?
it's gonna be
So
a good
I
time.
think that's going to be interesting. So that's my 2 minute report. The WNBA adds three teams.
My 2 minute report is that the WNBA All Star roster did get announced today, and we discussed already last week. I had found out in real time that Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier had been named the captains of the two All Star teams. The All Star starters are as follows: Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, Aaliyah Boston, Paige Beckers, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Neko Gumake getting her 10th All Star nod, Satu Sabali, Brianna Stewart, and Asia Wilson. Um, in the interest of time, I'm not going to have too many strong reactions to this, but Alyssa Thomas deserves better than this, and that's all I'm going to say. Alyssa Thomas deserves better than this. Now, is she still going to be in the All Star game? Yes, because Fee is going to pick her for her team, most likely. But Alyssa Thomas deserves better than this. That's all I'm going to
Because she's
say.
front court, right?
She's front court, yes.
So who would you
Um,
take off?
Aaliyah Boston. So
Mm.
that's the part that's frustrating is when Alyssa Thomas is having this, and she gets disrespected a lot, especially when it comes to the All Star. And I think it's because maybe she doesn't have a huge presence online. She's not very like whatever. Like she really just comes, she plays, and she leaves, and that's cool. But this is why the fan vote shouldn't count for 50%. And that's all I'm going to say on that. This is why the fan vote shouldn't count for 50%. So the top vote getters were Caitlin Clark with 1.2 million, Nafisa Collier with 1.1 million, Aaliyah Boston with also 1.1 million, Asia Wilson with just under a million, Brianna Stewart with just over 950K, Paige Beckers with 800,000, Kelsey Mitchell with 750K, Lexi Hull with 650K, which is crazy. Sabrina Ionescu with 580K, and then Angel Reese with just about 500, which means that also the coaches and the media left Angel Reese off the starting roster, but again, she will more than likely play because she will be picked for to round out the roster. So this is not to say that this is obviously not the entire All Star game, right? This is just the starters. But Alyssa Thomas deserves better, and that's all I'm gonna say. Very happy for Paige Becker. She's the only rookie who will be a starter, but again. I wouldn't be shocked if Sonia Citron, Kiki Irigafen, even maybe Anissa potentially, or not Anissa, what's her name? Not on Connecticut, not Anissa, although she's doing great. Sanaya Rivers. I wouldn't be surprised as rookies they may get picked up, but um, that is the All Star roster. So the game is the rest of the reserves will be announced July 6th, and then the game itself is going to be on July 19th. And then the skills competitions on July 18th. So
So
that'll
yeah.
be a fun time. Also, fun little factoid, fun little plug. There is a new women's basketball show that just dropped. It's called Vibe Check, and you can watch it on Disney Plus and also on ESPN2. And that is where they announced the roster on their inaugural episode. So
Hey, we
super
love
cool.
that. And while we will not be able to give you the full roster because this was pre-recorded, this is still relevant because this is the 14th as you're listening to this, and the game is on the 19th. So
Yes. So
this
we'll
is
have
the
our
week that this is
reaction
happening.
to everything the next time you hear us live. We'll be reacting to All Star and how it all went down.
And by we, she means DJ because I never watch All Star Weekend of any variety.
You
But
should.
as
It's really fun.
always, thank you for listening. Let us know if we missed any questions or if you have any questions. And as always, you can find the show on YouTube at Get the Finish Sports Network. You can find the show on Instagram at Get the Finish Sports Network. You can find the show on TikTok at GD Sports Network. And we will catch you live
All
next
right.
week
Bye.
for our first preview of the 2025 college football season.
Yes. Yes. We're going to enjoy our vacations though. So bye.